Stigoli, greetings in Oneida. Welcome to week 5 of 6 for Ethnic Experience United States, AIS 119. Let's get into it, people. You all are human beings, are worthy of love. Invitation, not an obligation, but if you want to, take the deepest breath of love you've had all day. Breathe in like you love yourself. Breathe in some love. Exhale some love. You are love. You are worthy of love. This week, Asian American history, culture, contemporary issues. Going to be reading these articles, The Yellow Peril and Asian Exclusion in the Americas. Also looking at getting real about the model minority, how this harmful myth, this harmful stereotype pits people against one another and puts up the idea of perfection, which is imperfect, it was impossible for us as human beings to attain. We'll talk more about the damaging nature of this myth. And we're looking at some of these videos here, using music as a tool. This first one, a little bit of an introduction to the song, then looking at the full song itself, We Are the Children, then looking at this Asian American history in 4 minutes, looking at people's stories of being a boat person from Vietnam, Syrian refugees finding a home in the United States, the first Cambodian American woman elected to Congress, the story of Chinese immigrants in the United States, roots of anti-Asian American racism in the United States. Some of the largest lynching in U.S. history take place outside the Los Angeles City Hall, which is pretty wild, learning about that story now. Yellow face is a bad look for Hollywood. This notion of how it's been done throughout history. People were not Asians themselves, but are being portrayed as such in films. What does that say about people not even being able to be good enough, to be able to portray themselves, and how that's done throughout many different cultures, but how it's seen particularly for Asian American peoples. Looking at Bruce Lee, talk about philosophy and being seen as a human being, first and foremost. Looking at the model minority myth, re-examined as Cambodian Americans fight model minority stereotype in education, bringing it closer here to Long Beach. Painted Nails is the documentary, and it's about this woman and this Vietnamese American woman, and she works at a nail salon, and she is exposed to these different chemicals, the harmful chemicals, and her progress and fight for her community and others to try to make a world a better place to fight these chemicals and different things. Why the U.S. has so many Filipino nurses, and also Korean women talk about growing up in the United States. So we're going to watch these videos, and you're going to do this discussion on Canvas. You're going to also do the GroupMe discussion. Also, your reflection essay, which is a 1 to 2 page double-spaced paper about your own ethnic identity and experience in the United States. You're welcome to reflect back on your family's relationship in the United States if you have that privilege, if you know that information. You may not. Or you can just focus in on your own experience of what you know, or maybe you don't know. And you can talk about that as well, too, and what that's like. That's due for all the assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday at the end of the week. So I look forward to that reflection essay as well, too, in addition to your other responses. Let's take a quick look right now at those readings as well, too. The first one I just want to share with you all is the abstract here for Yellow Peril by Erica Lee. The article examines the history of Asian migration and exclusion in the Americas by focusing on the intersections of national histories, transnational migration, and the globality of race. Beginning in the mid-19th century, a transnational conversation about race, migration, and national security circulated throughout North and South America. The subject was the global migration of Asians and the alleged threat they posed. By examining the circularity of Asian migration within the Americas, as well as the transnational nature of anti-Asian racism, this article seeks to revise our understanding of transnationalism and contribute to the larger global history of race. And again, particularly when I saw the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic and the quarantine, I saw a lot of the anti-Asian hate, this AAPI hate, I thought was increased a great deal. Again, you see how history can repeat itself if we're not careful. Once I had a humanities teacher that taught me, do we feel like for history, are we going in a straight line? Are we going downwards? Are we going backwards? Are we going forwards? And this person described it as it's almost like we're going on an upward spiral where it feels like we make progress sometimes, and it feels like we have to kind of retrace lessons that we may not have learned fully yet. We'll go up and we have to kind of continue in a circle, this upward spiral. That was an interesting idea. For here, the getting real about the model minority myth, the pressure to be perfect, how harmful that is as well too. And just really, when you think about the model minority myth, that it's quoting the paper here, it's an attempt to pit different communities of color against each other by saying one is best. Asian Americans at both ends of the scale are starting to realize that these stereotypes aren't okay any longer. And I'll talk about, indeed, that Asian Americans can be some of the highest achieving academically, and they can also be some of the lowest achieving academically. They can be some of the highest achieving economically and some of the lowest achieving economically. So the idea that people who are in those lowest achieving ones do not get the resources they need or allocated because of harmful myths, assuming that everyone is just well off. And the idea that people who are doing well, sometimes all the hard work that someone can do, it can be like, oh, well, that's just because of someone's ethnicity, or that's just because of this. When it really devalues, dehumanizes that person and their own experience, their own lived experience of achieving what they did. That's for any human being. That's hard work, and that's not easy if you are achieving. And if you don't fit into that stereotype, you can feel like that mental health issues or mental of just depression or just this notion of not feeling like you're living up to perfection, which is impossible. So that being said, people, looking forward to all those different, looking forward to your reflection essays, looking forward to learning more about you, looking forward to your weekly discussion on Canvas, your group me, talking circle response. With that being said, yawanko gadalunko nuyiwa. Thank you. I love you. Until next time, Oneida. And if ain't nobody loves you, Dr. Reed loves you. Have a great day. Take care, people. Happy week 5 and have a good one.